So we are here with Kate Pearce, one of the most active tutors we have on Schoolhouse, with over 300 sessions and 800 learners positively impacted. So hi, Kate. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. Just as you said, my name is Kate Pearce. I'm a high school junior. I live in Arkansas. And I've been volunteering and tutoring at Schoolhouse for almost a year and a half now. So I currently serve as the co-lead of the mentor team. So what we do is we kind of help newer tutors and just kind of help them develop their skills. And I also serve on the auditing and onboarding teams. So yeah.
All right. So Kate, you are a founding tutor, which means that you've been at Schoolhouse from its early days. So what encouraged you to join Schoolhouse in the first place?
Yeah, so just kind of like the story of how I came to join Schoolhouse. Basically, procrastinating apparently can be good, right? Long story short, but essentially, I was studying calculus on Khan Academy, kind of in like early July, and I was just kind of, getting kind of tired doing a bunch of problems. So I started like clicking around on some of the random articles on the site. And then in one of them, I saw kind of this little like line at the bottom, like it said something along the lines of for free tutoring, check out Sal's new nonprofit schoolhouse.world. And I thought that was pretty interesting, right? I mean, I've always been kind of a big Khan Academy fan, so obviously I like immediately typed in schoolhouse.world to my search bar. And then yeah, before you know it, I was in my basement recording myself a video of myself explaining logarithms. This was before like certification was a thing, so new tutors would just submit a video of them like tutoring a topic of their choice. Um, so yeah, I mainly kind of wanted to join Schoolhouse because it really like reflected like the changes I wanted to see in the world, right? Like I wanted, I've always been pretty passionate about like helping solve educational inequality. And Schoolhouse, I mean, obviously its mission of free tutoring for anyone anywhere seemed like a great place to sort of, actually be able to help solve that problem and work towards that goal.
So what would a typical day of volunteering at Schoolhouse consist for you?
Yeah, sure. So like Schoolhouse, I mean, you can work on your own schedule. So there's not really one like typical day, but usually when I'm gonna volunteer, I like start with doing some auditing teamwork. So basically, we're just reviewing recordings of sessions and ensuring like tutor quality and session safety. And I'll also leave feedback, especially for some of our newer tutors, just to let them know like what they're doing well, and maybe what they could improve on, right? And also, I recently started like co-leading the mentor team. So that's basically kind of helping out newer tutors and struggling tutors, and again, just helping them develop their skills. So I'll like talk to the other mentors and kind of get their feedback, and also like help mentor tutors, right? But then in terms of actual tutoring, I teach like a few sessions a week. So I'll just make like session plans and whatever slides and anything else I need, just kind of whenever it's convenient for me. And sometimes I'll assign like a diagnostic or, a survey for learners to complete on a Google form. So I'll just kind of look through those. Um, and yeah, and then I do like the actual tutoring part in the evening, right? I tutor a lot of SAT. So I'll go through like some practice tests, some tips and tricks. And then I'll also teach just other math topics. Recently started about to tutor web development, so that's pretty exciting. But yeah, just kind of throughout this process, I'm really like connecting with other tutors and learners and just, learning from them, right? Like both in terms of like tutoring skills and also like kind of general, like both academic guidance and just stuff about life in general. And yeah, just really sort of getting to be involved with the community is really great.
So what part about volunteering at Schoolhouse is the most exciting to you?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I do really enjoy like serving on like the auditing and mentor teams. But kind of my favorite part about volunteering at Schoolhouse is like definitely the part that drew me here in the first place, which would be tutoring, right? I really especially love like working through problems with learners and when they reach that like aha moment where they, get it, like light bulb over the head, that's really great to me.
All right. How do you think the schoolhouse community has impacted you?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest here, Schoolhouse like has probably given more to me than I have given to it. Like for one thing, I've gotten to connect with so many like talented students and professionals just all over the world. And the people that volunteer here, like they're really kind and generous, right? So I'll just get like immediate help with like, whether it be calculus or academic competitions or other like networking opportunities. I mean, all you have to do is ask, right? But like more importantly, just getting to interact with the schoolhouse community as a whole has kind of opened my eyes to a lot of like fresh new perspectives and helped me learn about all the opportunities that are out there. So yeah, I'm really grateful for what Schoolhouse has given to me.
Great. So, what is one challenge that you faced when you first began tutoring at Schoolhouse, and how did you overcome this challenge?
Yeah, sure. So I think kind of when I first started tutoring, I was a little bit intimidated just by kind of the process as a whole. Like I was a bit scared that like I didn't really know algebra, which was what I was tutoring at the time, or that like someone would ask me a question that I didn't really know. But I feel like as I continued tutoring though, I really kind of got into a flow and overcame those fears. Kind of one thing that helped with that, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Feynman method, but basically the best way to learn something is to teach it to someone else, right? So as I continued like explaining and teaching concepts to learners, I felt like I had a deeper understanding of those topics and then, was better able to explain and teach them to learners, kind of creating that positive feedback loop, right? But it also just kind of learning from other tutors, like going to their sessions, seeing what they were doing. I've especially kind of observed a lot of techniques that I've implemented into my own sessions. And yeah, I mean, we're all learning from each other, so it's really great.
That's great. So, what do you think is in store for Schoolhouse in the near future?
Yeah, sure. So I think right now I'm just pretty excited to see like what we're finally starting to add to our virtual schoolhouse, right? Like we're adding stuff like study spaces, a new community forum, and just recently live help, right? So I'm really excited to just see that Schoolhouse, is focusing on what it does best, its community. Like our goal, it's not just to help students learn, but also to connect the world through learning, right? So obviously I'm really excited to see how we're like helping further, just build those connections and build like, just a fully fleshed out virtual schoolhouse, right?
Yeah, I do agree. Even for me, the best part about Schoolhouse is that the fact that the community is just so welcoming and so helpful, and it's so good to see that we're expanding on that.
Yeah.
So every time you host a session, how do you strive to make a positive impact on your learning?
Yeah. So usually I really do try my best to like connect with learners and just care for them like as people, right? Even though they might just be little black tiles on my Zoom screen, there is obviously a person behind the screen, right? So I think just, kind of building those connections, getting to talk to them, getting to know them. But it also kind of helps to see like the impact that I'm having personally. Sometimes like someone will send a nice note, right, about like kind of maybe how my session helped them raise their SAT score or something. And that kind of really motivates me to continue doing my best in sessions, just knowing that I'm having a real impact on real people.
That's great. So tell us more about yourself. Besides volunteering at Schoolhouse, what do you like to do in your free time?
Yeah, sure. So free time, kind of interesting, right? I do read a lot, but normally I used to read a lot of fiction, whereas now I'm kind of gravitating towards more like nonfiction. Sometimes my schoolhouse friends will send me a lot of random articles, so I also really enjoy reading those. Additionally, I live in Arkansas, which is known as the natural state, right? And I kind of live in the woods, so I really like just sort of exploring those and kind of the nature around me, right? Like taking hikes, right? And just, especially this time of year, all the leaves are turning red, orange, yellow all at once. So it's really pretty to look at. I also really just kind of, other things that I do, riding my bike, baking, playing Stardew Valley, all that stuff.
That's awesome. So, do you have any final words of advice for our tutors?
Yeah, I mean, just sort of what I would recommend to people who are kind of starting to join the schoolhouse community is really don't be afraid to reach out, right? Like you can learn so much from this community, but obviously you have to make sure that your voice is heard. So normally, I mean, if you have pretty much anything that you need help with, someone out there who is, both really talented and also really generous will definitely be willing to help with that. So, everyone's happy to help the best they can. So definitely don't be afraid to just reach out.
All right, that is Kate. Thank you so much, Kate. I had so much fun listening to your insights. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.